If you've been avoiding your bookkeeping all year and are slightly panicking right now, don't worry, I've got you. With that tax deadline approaching, it is time to go ahead and face it head on. But thankfully, I have got a way to help you get your books together in less than an hour for the entire year. And I'm going to show you how to do it with a simple spreadsheet that your tax preparer will love you for. Hi everyone, I'm Jamie Trull. For those who don't know me, I am a CPA financial educator and now author of the book Hidden Profit. And today I'm going to show you a simple, stress-free way to get your books caught up, whether you're catching up for a month or all the way back to January 1st. Now, if you're new here, or even if you're not, make sure that you've hit that subscribe button, because on this channel, I'm bringing you all the information to help you stay informed, organized, and profitable in your business finances. And stick around, because at the end of the video, I'm going to tell you how to actually create a system that you can stick to each and every month so that you don't have to scramble next year. So in just a minute, I'm going to jump into my spreadsheet and show you how you can quickly set up and create a profit and loss statement for your business. But before I do that, I want to go ahead and clarify what types of businesses might actually need to use something a little bit more than a spreadsheet for their finances. So a spreadsheet is great for simpler businesses. If you have, say, 100 transactions or less in a given month, and if you don't have assets like inventory or fixed assets that you need to be tracking on a balance sheet. And if you don't have debt, you also need to be tracking on a balance sheet, because what I'm going to show you here today is just a profit and loss statement. And if you are, let's say, an LLC, or you are a sole proprietor and you file a Schedule C, then this is going to be all you need for tax purposes. But if you're a corporation, you might need a balance sheet, in which case you might need to consider accounting software instead, which I'll talk about at the end of this video. So step one of this process before we get started in our spreadsheet is to download all of our banking transactions. That's usually going to be the best way to do this. Most banks will allow you to download into a CSV file, which puts it all directly into a spreadsheet. And that's what we're going to use to input into our profit and loss statement to create something a little bit more useful than just a laundry list of expenses. So this process is going to be a lot easier if you are using a business bank account to run all of your business transactions through. That way you don't have to worry about downloading all your transactions and figuring out what's personal and what's business. So I highly recommend doing that. It's just going to make life a lot easier. But in this case, I use Relay for my business banking. So that's where I'm going to go first to download my transactions, which I can do under accounts and statements. One nice thing that not every bank does, but Relay does do, is that I can actually go ahead and check multiple different months, and I can export them all at once. So I can go back to the beginning of this year and I can actually click export and I can download those statements. And when I do that, it's going to give me the choice between PDF, CSV, and OFX. I have no idea what an OFX report is, but what I really need is a CSV that's going to put it into a spreadsheet format for me. And then I'm going to pick the account that I want to use. So in this case, I'm going to do my business checking. So after downloading all my statements, I went ahead and opened the January statement, and this is an example of what that can look like. So yours might be a little bit different. The columns might be set up a little bit differently based on how your bank does it. However, it should have some of the same columns, maybe just in a different order. And thankfully, we're really only going to need a couple of the columns in here. So the ones that matter are going to be the date column, the payee column, and then also the amount column. That's really all you need to be able to put this into an easier to understand format that actually looks like a profit and loss statement. So the next step in this process is going to be to take these transactions and put them into the form of a profit and loss statement, which is what your tax preparer is going to want to see. And not only that, a P&L also makes it a lot easier to see what's actually going on in your business and how much money you're making. Now, I'm going to walk you through this in my profit and loss template. Many of you probably already have this, so you can go ahead and follow along. But if you don't have one of these templates yet, go to jamietrull.com/profit loss, where you can purchase one. Or if you are comfortable creating one yourself, I actually made a video that walks you through how to make a profit and loss statement in Excel or Google Sheets. So if you're a DIYer, then go ahead and watch that video and you can create one yourself. But if you'd rather save the time, then go ahead and grab my template, again, at jamietrull.com/profit loss. And that's what I'm going to walk through here today. So now we're within this P&L, and what you can see is that it has a place on this front page where you're going to have income and expenses. All of this is going to automatically populate based on what you put on each individual monthly tab. So you can see here that you will have a monthly P&L once you're done with this, and you'll be able to see your full year-to-date P&L. My template also comes with some really cool dashboards that I'll show you in a little bit, and you can even do cash reconciliations with this to make sure that you have captured all the transactions that you need to capture and that your cash balances are reconciling out. So now that you've downloaded those bank statements and you have those transactions in a CSV file, you're going to go to the very first month that you're starting with. In this case, let's start with January. And that's where you can actually put this information. Now, yes, you can just key it all in, but that seems like it would take way too long. So I'm a big fan of just copying and pasting. Although what I do suggest is to copy and paste one column at a time. So what you can see is I've already gone ahead and pulled up the January tab in the P&L template. I also have my January statement items that came from my bank account. And what I'm going to do is just copy and paste. And I recommend actually doing this one column at a time. So I'm going to take the date column first, and I'm just going to go over here and I'm going to paste it. And actually what you probably want to do is paste special values, because that's going to make it so that it doesn't mess with the formatting, and it's going to move all of those over. Now we got to do the descriptions. So you can decide what you put in the description. I actually like to put more of the payee there, but if you want more of a description, you can put that there. It's completely up to you. But I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing and paste special into the description. And then the amount, remember, was from over here on this column. And you're going to see that you can just copy paste directly over here. And again, we're going to paste special values. You can do this in either Google Sheets or Excel. It will work in both. So now these transactions have all been put in here on the January tab, and that took all of about 30 seconds. But that isn't all that we need to do. So we have the transactions now in the template. The first thing I want you to do is to check the signs. So you'll notice up here on each tab, it will tell you what sign it should be. So in this case, incoming money should be positive, outgoing money should be negative. So just make sure that that's how your bank also shows this, right? So I can tell that yes, Stripe is incoming money, so that should be positive. It is. All these negatives are expenses, so that's correct. Now, if you are doing this with either your bank statements, or again, you would do the same thing with credit card statements, right? So if you are taking transactions from your credit card, it's going to come in the same way. Different banks and different credit cards will show these numbers differently. So if for some reason, maybe your bank just defaults to everything being positive, you might have to go in and manually add those minus signs if that's the case. It's unfortunate and it does add some extra manual work, but hopefully, like mine, your bank statement or your credit card statement comes in with incoming money as positive and outgoing money as negative, or expenses as negative. So once you've checked that, it's time to actually categorize these. This is what makes it from a laundry list of expenses into something that is actually organized in a way that you can really understand what it's saying to you and is organized more closely to what they're going to need for tax purposes. So you're really just subtotaling your expenses in a way that makes sense. And you do that by choosing categories from the drop-down menus. So you'll notice there's already several that are populated in here if you have my spreadsheet. Or you can actually make changes to this if you'd like to. That's on the Chart of Accounts tab. So here on the Chart of Accounts tab, you can add in whatever you want for those categories to be. You can change, especially anything that is in yellow can be changed or customized. So if there is a specific type of account that you want to be tracking and it is not showing up, then you can add it here on this page. And also on this Chart of Accounts page, you can put in the different accounts that this came from. So for example, I can put Relay checking account here. And then if I'm also bringing in, let's say, my Chase credit card account, that's going to help me when it comes to reconciling my accounts. And I recommend you do this actually before you start categorizing, because sometimes you can have issues if you start categorizing and then change some of these titles, it's going to get confusing. So definitely take a look at the chart of accounts section and make sure it has everything that you need and make any modifications that you need to before you start categorizing on the monthly tabs. So now let me show you how we do this. So we go into this. Now, first of all, we can go to the account. Remember, I put Relay or Chase. These are all going to be Relay. And because I like to do things faster and because these are all from Relay, I'm just going to carry this down. So it'll put in Relay checking account for all of them. Now here is going to take a little bit more time. This is probably where most of your time is going to end up, and that's categorizing each of these expenses. So we're going to jump in and we're going to say exactly what all of these things are. So I just finished categorizing. That took me about a minute and a half or so for about 20 transactions. So again, depending on how many transactions you have is going to pretty much dictate how long it's going to take you. But I'm already done with January. So that's my whole January P&L. And now I can go and actually look at what my P&L looks like for January. So I can see that it is summarizing each account separately. And I can see where my money is going really easily. Again, it's going to summarize anything that we categorized into those specific accounts. And it's going to tell me what my profit and loss was for January. And then of course, I can do the exact same thing for each and every month going forward. So I can fill in February next. And again, it's going to get quicker and quicker each and every time you do it. And you might be able to get it down to taking only about 5 or 10 minutes per month of bookkeeping. And also, if you have anything that is personal in nature that maybe you paid out of your personal account, but you want to deduct for tax purposes, you can actually just add that in as a separate transaction. You can key in any additional transactions that you want to. In that case, you're probably going to want to, in your accounts section, go into your chart of accounts and just say personal bank account. And then you can select that when you are selecting which account it came out of, just so that you know that you don't need to reconcile those in your cash reconciliation. And the cash reconciliation works really easily too in this spreadsheet, where essentially you're just going to put in what your beginning balance in cash was at the beginning of the year. Let's say it was $5,000. And then you're going to be able to put in your ending cash balance per your bank statement, and you can compare. So if I put in, let's say, my ending bank statement was actually $9,000. Well, all of a sudden I'm off by $325. So maybe I'm missing some transactions that should have been posted and they're not coming through for some reason, right? Or I've deleted something or double counted something. So this is a good sense check for cash reconciliation to make sure that you've included all the transactions that actually hit through that bank statement. So I've gone through and put all of those expenses from my bank statements and credit cards into each individual monthly tab and made sure the signs were correct. And I can see everything now pulling in. So I can see all of my income. I had 2 categories that I was putting my income into, although you can use several different ones if you'd like to. And also my expenses have been categorized down here based on what I put in. And then it is telling me what my operating income was, my profit essentially, for each and every month. And then over here, I can see my full year to date. Again, your tax preparer will love you if this is what you hand them. Or if you're doing your taxes yourself, you will easily be able to utilize this to put this directly into your Schedule C for your taxes. And the cool thing also about this template, if you choose to snag the one I've already created for you, I've added some really cool dashboards because who doesn't love some charts and graphs? I'm a bit of a nerd when it comes to this stuff. So you can actually see your revenue split out by month. You can see your operating expenses by month to see which months have been the most expensive. And then you can check out your revenue by category. So again, if you have multiple categories, that can be really helpful. And you can even see your top 5 expenses year to date. You can see a graph of your profit and loss by month and your profit by quarter to see, oh, very clearly Q4 was definitely the best quarter of the year. So I hope you can see how easy it is to use, and it does not have to take your entire weekend or weeks for you to catch up on your bookkeeping, even if you haven't been so diligent yet this year. Now, remember how I said that I would tell you how I stay caught up? Well, my secret is my Money Mondays. So every Monday I sit down and do all of my various different money tasks. So if you want to see a behind the scenes into what a Money Monday looks like for me and what I actually do to keep up with my finances and make sure that I'm staying profitable, check out this video next. Now, as much of a spreadsheet lover as I am, it is actually my love language, by the way, I also know that sometimes we have to go ahead and upgrade and move past spreadsheets at a point in time. So as your business is getting more complex, or you become a corporation, or you need to track a lot more transactions, that might be time to go ahead and get set up on a bookkeeping software. I personally use cloud-based bookkeeping software because it actually automatically brings in all those transactions from my various different bank accounts and credit cards, and I can categorize everything right there. And it has AI, which saves me time when categorizing various things, or I can set up rules to do those things in the software. So once you've caught up this year and use this P&L template, it might be time to go ahead and get set up starting next year on a more complete accounting system. So if you want to know what accounting systems I recommend and get some good deals on them, make sure to go to jamietrull.com/accounting and check out this video next. Thanks for joining me, and I'll see you next time.